Welcome back, everybody. We are back after the half-hour break, ready to get into our second match of the night. It is going to be SANDBOX going head-to-head with KT. I am Valdez. With me is, of course, Wadid, joining me once again for the second series. We had a bit of a Clown Fiesta series to start the night, but now getting into KT versus SANDBOX, what are your expectations coming into this match, Wadid?
I mean, for sure, KT's favor this matchup. Even though SANDBOX showed up some great performance in some games, KT won against T1, who is called by like a lot of analysts and then commentaries are saying that T1 might be the top one in LCK, but KT showed up. They're not, and especially. I really liked how they played and approached the game, early game. Bono played well, especially, I felt like. And then, yeah, this matchup they should able to get the win and have a better prepared performance coming in to playoffs, I think, KT. And also, SANDBOX, if they lose, they're gonna fall into the relegation match. So they have to win as well, but it's kind of rough matchup today, so yeah, we'll see. Here we go. There's a ranking. Final race to avoid relegation zone right there.
Yeah, and you can see that APK, with that win, they put themselves in a really great spot because really the only way, I mean, I suppose they can get into a tiebreaker if they lose their next game and then both SANDBOX and Hanwha Life are able to win at least one, and then tiebreakers come into effect, of course. So APK with the win today, they put themselves in a really good spot. Of course, they're going to have a hard time against Dragon X. Afrika, pretty much out of the relegation zone. I don't think that's really going to happen, even if they lose their final two games. Really, it is just the SANDBOX and Hanwha Life teams that are on death's door, essentially, here. Griffin is definitely in relegations, and it really comes down to the last two teams that they have to play. SANDBOX going up against KT and Damwon, and Hanwha Life, I saw they had one hard matchup and one easier matchup, but still, it's not going to be easy when there's so much on the line. And as we were talking about, it is to escape or to advance. That is the question. SANDBOX wants to escape the relegation zone, and KT with the win wants to lock in playoffs today.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, as I mentioned, the more important thing is their current performance right before the playoffs. So, yeah, win is really important, but the way how they get the win today is going to be really also important coming into the playoffs. And yeah, and there is a T1 jinx. After you win against the T1, you get the losing streaks eventually. So will it also hit the KT today? What do you think, actually? What do you think about this jinx?
I'm not a very superstitious guy. I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. I don't think the jinx is real. I think it just comes into what is going on in the actual matchups that were happening at the time. Like Hanwha Life, as we see, they have struggled a lot, and Afrika and Damwon are two of our more inconsistent mid-level teams. So they had to go up against strong teams after defeating T1, and what happens is they eventually go on a bit of a losing streak, as is the case. We are taking a look here at some stats. You can see that the win rate with Dragon Soul is undefeated, 17 wins for KT when they get the Dragon Soul. They never lose if they get that objective.
There is so many late game teams in LCK right now, I feel like, and KT, I mean, winner with the Dragon Soul 100%, and combined the Dragon Soul, it's like yeah, they're second rank, 75.6%. That means that they are going to the late game, but also that means they actually rotate the Dragon rotation really well, and maybe they get the Drake really early, not like 30-40 minutes. And here we go with the lineup. Today we are gonna have Summit and Onflict and Dove, Root, and Gorilla.
Yeah, so no more Punch. coming in here to kick On Fleek out of the jungle, which it looked good for, I think, one series, and then it looked bad. And I was like, yeah, I think we need On Fleek back. And so they are going to give him a chance. We are going with kind of I suppose, the original expected lineup, the best for each position that we all expected to be playing. Whereas on the side of KT, nothing's going to change here. When you defeat T1 2-0, you're not subbing anyone out. So they're going to come out here. Bono it was even mentioned in the match points, so you mentioned it before we got to the match points. He had an exceptional series against T1, so having him carry plus Aiming, who has been really consistent this year, KT do look like a formidable team in 2020.
And here we go. Key players. And those players are not like KD players, but kill part direction for Bono. He's like part of the every single kills, I guess. He's second ranked on his role. And I'm not sure jungler part direction means exactly, but he's on the third. And can you explain what is like JP exact meaning?
JP jungle presence, I think. Like the amount of time that junglers spend around the lanes. I see. I think that should be the right, and that the jungle proximity. Jungle proximity. Yeah, that makes sense.
That kind of led it to him having a great kill part direction. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
we are going to be hopping into Big Ban here. One of the things about Bono, though, is, he's a great player, but he is a little bit of a two-trick. He loves his Jarvan and Olaf, and we already see that the Jarvan is taken away from Bono. So we'll see exactly how much they want to target it. I don't think they would first pick Olaf, but maybe they just want to take Jarvan first and foremost away from the jungler. As we already see 80 carries, 3 of them banned here. Another common one is Varus. We'll see if KT wants to snipe that away as well.
Yeah, and also in last series, there was so many Trundles in the game. And I mean, even though Vano is a big fan of Olaf, still there is a Trundle. So I don't think first pick Olaf is going to be matter for the KT. So I think they should get better first pick like Varus. And this is such a great start of the ban picks. It's already having a great priority on the bottom side. So this is great. So I just want to see the answer of the Varus, because there's no Kalista, there's no Aphelios, and there is no Senna. And I don't feel like Israel is good answer into Varus. So I just want to see what KT is thinking, because normally Varus is out of the game, but they opened. So we're gonna see what they prepared against that champion.
Yeah, Varus can be quite annoying. He has multiple different builds, and he can be flexed. Misfortune, pretty common when you ban 4, 3, 4, 80 carries. That are taken away. You eventually go to the Misfortune and Ezreal, as we saw in the first series today. Pretty common. Sometimes they mix it up and go for other stuff, but it's very common. As Trundle, also extremely high priority right now in the LCK, so that will also be picked up by KT.
Yeah, Trundle and Aatrox, they just want to blind pick it because they feel like it's just great champ, and it doesn't matter what matchup you're playing against. It's all about the champion abilities. And then also Azir is one of the champions that LCK really likes to play. It deals tons of damage in the late game, and early game also. When you talk about the Azir matchup, there is also Corki, there is so many mid late game champions, but Azir is one of the champions that you can actually do something with his ultimate. So I think that was great pickup. And there is Yumi at the third by KT side.
He hovered Kassadin for quite a while, but it was a troll in the end. Kassadin, another one of those picks that they consider into the Azir. Other picks are Kali. We saw LeBlanc a lot, but she is banned away first against Kuro, who does have a nice win record on that champion so far in his career, of course. And so Yumi will show her face once again. And banning out the Nautilus here. Down in the support side, away from Gorilla.
Yeah. I was wondering what are they gonna pick with Misfortune. Personally, I really don't like Misfortune Nautilus combo, so I was kind of wondering why they picked the Misfortune into Varus. I'm thinking that it's not even that good matchup for Misfortune, but yeah, Yumi completed. I think that Yumi pick was great choice. Pretty good into all the champions right now. And they can also ban 2 champions that Yumi is getting annoyed. And they banned the Volibear and Nautilus, and it looking great already. And yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to punish Yumi in lane, but still they have Rek'Sai, so I think SANDBOX just needs to pick something that you can engage when Rek'Sai comes, like Thresh. It's still fine, even though laning phase can be really hard against Yumi. And KT side, I think they prepared something that we actually watched from APK side, right? Zillion top. I mean, it's not Zillion top yet. Probably Zillion mid against Azir. BDD already showed so many times. So we can expect 3k movement speed Misfortune this game, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a pick we knew was coming. It is Summit. And he only plays Aatrox. That's his only champion that I've seen in like the last 8 series. Yeah, and of course Korea loves Aatrox, so everybody's going to pick Aatrox. Now, the question really was, because we knew Aatrox was going to be picked, what will be the support for the Varus?
Oh, double poke. If they pick Karma, they're gonna pick double Comet to double poke on the bot lane. And yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but I don't think in the late game it's gonna be work that well, because if you pick Karma on the support, then you are not gonna have that much of CC. Even though you have Varus, still Misfortune is gonna pick up cleans, right? So I think they just need to snowball Ali, and that is gonna help Azir so much. Even though they have, it looks like they have a decent late game, but I feel like KT's team composition is more shining in the late game. So I think they should able to end with the first Nashor or like in the 30 minutes. Otherwise, I think KT, Misfortune, with the Ornn item upgrade, with the Zillion, Yumi, movement speed, with the oh man. Actually, I just want to see that. Yeah.
Regardless of how the game goes, we're gonna get to see a really fast Misfortune, and I don't think anything is going to be able to hit her. She's probably going to be even able to outrun an Emperor's Divide or something like that, because she's going to be so incredibly fast. Just with her abilities, and also with, of course, Zillion Yumi. And yeah, I mean, Trundle makes his way out here once again as a first pick for Bono. We'll see if he's able to have such a stellar performance once again here in a second series in a row. Other stuff to look at is, of course, Summit gets his favorite champion. Dove gets what he named himself after, the champion Azir. And Root that's another question. You know, you were talking about the double poke in the bottom lane. Do they just go for the double comet and really try to push them out of the lane, or does Root just go back into that standard kind of AD carry? And it looks like he will.
Right.
And just try to carry it in late game with the Azir.
Yeah, so basically they're looking for mid late game, not like looking for early games. I mean, I was expecting them to just force it early, because I feel like their KT's team composition is more synergizing in the late game. But maybe too much relying on the aiming, so that's why SANDBOX is like, oh man, all we need to do is just kill aiming and that's all, you know. But on SANDBOX side, when it comes to like mid late game, then you have two damage dealers and in different kind of damage type as well, Varus and Azir. And in general, their composition is just classic LCK, I would say, except a Karma support. It's just normal and classic picks, so they just decided to go late game, I feel like.
Yeah, just sit back, relax. We saw Karma and Wadid put together. Karma priority when the Zillion was banned, I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, when one of the teams did want to go ahead and pick up that Zillion. So it does a similar amount of like supporting from a solo lane, but in this case it is of course the actual support player picking it up. As we do take a look at the coach here, Coach Hirai from KT says, recently I told them off really hard, and I know players are having a hard time with strong feedback. We won't be too excited over a win and forget where we are. And
strong feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, strong feedback in Korea. I mean, I'm not sure how it works in Korea actually, because I didn't play in LCK teams, but I actually was be part in the Challenger Series team for like 1.5 years before I debut in Europe. The atmosphere in Korea team is like just kind of strict and just follow the head coach's feedback, you know. Then you just keep saying your opinions, you know. But I have experience in Europe and North America, both regions, right? And they're more like players dependent feedbacks, you know. Players are like talking most of the times, and coaches are just listing the priorities, and that's kind of difference between Korean team and Western team, I guess. And like both systems are having some benefits and not good things, but yeah, I mean, KT, they showed a really great performance after the round 1. So I think that kind of strong feedback is working pretty hard, but yeah, I mean, they lost few games after that miracle winning streak. So yeah, that strong feedback is gonna hit it again, or is it gonna burn out the player? That's the question. And this game is gonna be really great to see how that worked out for the KT members.
Yeah, for sure. And Coach Hirai is definitely known for being a bit strict and definitely asking a lot from his players. So I don't think it's any surprise that after KT had a really big struggling moment in the beginning of the split, that he really buckled down and said, guys, we got to change it. You know, this is not okay. And gave them that strong feedback he was talking about. So definitely have totally turned their season around with the miracle winning streak. They lost a couple of games, but then they defeated T1.
Oh, yeah?
Still struggling with the SKT moniker, but yeah, definitely KT looking pretty good nowadays. And the little graphic we had at the bottom was that in Korea, Kuro actually went on a 8-season playoff streak. So he's made it into playoffs 8 times in a row from 2015 to 2018 before he did go over to China for 2019. And so he's hoping to keep that Korea streak alive in the playoffs.
Yeah, and by himself as well. And he picked the Zillion into a series. Yeah, I mean, we can say it's a good matchup because the win rate on Zillion against Azir is pretty good because of the BDD, but I feel like they just need to not have some greedy moment like this, because they synergize really well when they group as 5, not like when they're looking for like a mid-jungle 2v2 and 3v3 skirmishes or like early game, mid game. All they need to do is just wait for Misfortune to have 2 items and then group as 5 and use the movement speed buffs for the advantage. Not like looking for the laning phase winning or just random skirmishes, you know. So I think KT is happy with 0 kills in 25 minutes, and in the other hand, SANDBOX, I think, even though their team composition is kind of late game, I don't feel like they are in a comfort zone. If they just let KT have free farm with those kind of composition, so I think they should at least have a kills or double kills on the bot side with the 4-man, because they should able to have some advantage in the mid jungle with the Rek'Sai Azir pick. So they should able to have some pressure towards bot side, or even try to get the bot dive, or just get the early Drake to have some fast rotation about the Drake Soul. So SANDBOX kind of need to do something, I feel like, but maybe they have some different idea. But I'm happy to see Aatrox bidding on the top side, because normally we were seeing that the Aatrox being so useless on the lane even, but at least this time Summit is playing good on lane, so it feels great.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. We'll see if Summit can keep up his Aatrox dominance in so many games in a row, as he's already having a fun time up here in the top lane. But again, it is Ornn, so Sohan can kind of... I'm glad that he didn't just last pick the Kennen, because that's what I was expecting. I really do like the Ornn with the composition. I feel like it does make a lot more sense with just what they're going for with the feed aiming kind of feeling. You know, give him the Ornn items, give him some reliable hard engage with the Ornn. I feel like it really was a great pick, but Sohan has found so much comfort on the Kennen that I thought, especially into the Aatrox, I think he might just pick it, but that was not the case. So you can see he's doing very well in the lane. He's able to go for that, as we're going for the dragon here, but it is spotted by SANDBOX.
Oh man, he's jumping.
Yeah, trying to get on in there. Root's actually level 6 before aiming. So
I don't think SANDBOX is happy with the Drake.
Oh, Kuro. Summit with the gank, but again, that's the thing about Zilean. Even if, you know, especially in that kind of position and with support near a turret, he's just going to press R. He's just going to be like, okay, yeah, sure. Nice job. We trade Rs and we keep farming. That's what Zilean wants. He just wants to sit there and hang out. He's a pacifist.
Oh, ultimate.
Yeah, on fleek going very aggressive, but with the red buff
He's
ticking,
dead, by the way.
He gets the knock up, and actually, the make it rain is enough to pick up the kill, and that is so ideal for KT. On fleek getting aggressive in the jungle, and this means multiple things. They give the first blood to Aiming, who is the main carry for the team. They blow so many summoners on the side of SANDBOX. By the way, basically nobody blew summoners on the side of KT, only the flash from Bono. And at the same time, they pick up the first Drake, so it's kind of like a 3-for-1 package, a gift package, that SANDBOX handed over to KT there.
Yeah, first, as Karma, you have to win lane, and that should leading to the first Drake, but they failed. And second, Gorilla failed to shield Rek'Sai right there. I don't know how, but he flashed and he shielded himself. And I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe he did a Mantra E or something, but yeah, I mean, I just saw that happening. And on flick, kind of unnecessary aggressive move towards enemy jungle. But anyways, yeah, as you mentioned it, Aiming got the free kill. Even though they got the header here, I feel like KT is already happy with the result. They got the Drake, and everything is set up for the late game already, for KT side. And here we go. He actually cancelled the Rek'Sai E with the pillar, right?
Yeah.
And that was great. And flash. Oh, he didn't flash, but like he shielded himself for some reason.
Flash, actually.
Oh yeah.
It does have his flash on cooldown now.
Oh, true.
But
so
we
he
didn't
flashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't see it from the replay, but he flashed and he shielded himself.
Yeah.
And the Root tried to flash heal, but he failed. So everything is going really bad. And at the same time, look at the gorilla item. That support item needs to hit the enemy champion to get the ward item. But in this case, you are getting pushed. That means it's really hard to hit the enemy champions with the skill shots or hit the enemy turret to get the gold. So maybe Gorilla is gonna have his side stone at like 20 minutes or something. That's a kind of disaster for the team game when it comes to vision control. So I'm worrying about the Karma already because they didn't get enough they didn't do their homework on the bot side. Their homework was just winning bot lane and stable lane, get the Drake for free. But I mean, Off-Lake kinda ruined it because he kinda did the Rex side ganking position on the blue side. But Bono kinda defended really well. So everything is not seems great for SANDBOX, but still they got the header, so they should able to get some advantage here.
Let's see how they are able to use this as Onflake is heading up to the top side. You can see his little blue Rek'Sai hands there. And Dove is going to rotate up too. Chilling Smite comes down and Sohwan says, no, thank you. I would like to flash away from that. And that does mean that because they push the Ornn out of the lane, Sohwan will try to clear the minions here and does have Bono. Rift Herald comes down. Kind of an awkward angle. Gonna deny the kill on the turret, actually, with that. And so that last plate is going to stay up for now.
I mean, that tower is gone. It's just way too low. So it's still great for SANDBOX that they have huge advantage on the top side because of the Summit doing great job on the laning phase. But as I mentioned it, I felt like KT's team composition is way too easy to play the late game. And yeah, I mean, SANDBOX, even though they got the first tower and 5 plates on the top side, as I mentioned it before, League is all about AD carry when it comes to the late game, you know?
Yeah.
So, and Sohwan is playing Ornn, so I really think they should able to dive KT's bot lane. And even now, they can 5 and dive on the bot side because of the top lane pressure. So they should able to convert their top side pressure to bot side to help their bot lane a little bit. Because Yuumi already got the side stone like 2 minutes before, but I don't feel like Karma is getting side stone for rest of the game, you know? If this is gonna be happen for the rest of the game. So yep, they really need to help the bot lane and try to get some vision control before Drake spawns. And seems like Summit is gonna move after that top wave, and we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he'll try to exert the pressure as much as he can. You know, you're saying this is very AD carry centric right now in the meta, but Summit is trying to make it all about him. If he can get far enough ahead, perhaps he can carry some of these team fights in the mid game. That will be the main objective for the Aatrox, of course, as Ocean Drake is live. Nice amount of poke already coming down, and look at that burst damage coming out from Aiming. Gonna pull back Bono, though, who is in a little bit of trouble, but does have the Zillion, and he's able to bait the enemy team into the fight, but Aiming, oh no, got a little bit close there, does have healing on his back, but now, immediately, 5v4, Dove still with the Emperor's Divide. KT need to look at that.
Yumi's healing.
Yeah, Yumi just gonna heal him up to full. And we're just gonna jump onto Kuro and heal him up as well. And is still at full mana. Yumi, fun champion. And yeah, they pick up the Ocean Drake. It will be the Cloud Soul that does come in here. And only a little bit of poke damage from SANDBOX onto the turret. So another big win going the way of KT.
Their team composition is already popping off, and like somebody is probably saying that top lane is so useless, you know. After these all the advantages, I still get one shot by enemy jungler and their support. Yeah, I mean Trundle, he was getting one shotted by Aatrox, but Zillion ulti and Yumi healing and Trundle healing himself, their team composition is just art. Just look at it again. And bullet time was great as well by Amy. To solve them all.
I love that last second Zillion ultimate as well. It's just because they know it's coming. But it's like, well, do we just not kill Bono at the same time? We can't not kill him. And it's just so awkward because Aatrox got pulled into the fight, whereas the MF pushed every single other person on SANDBOX out of the fight with the bullet timing. The bullet time timing. So it was just a great team fight from the side of KT. And we have another one here. Bono this time around does have the Zillion nearby as well. And Shirley, I suppose, will go down once again to the side of SANDBOX. Rek'Sai picking that up. And Sohan's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I'm pushing. I'm
gonna level. Yeah, I'm gonna get my levels, and I'm gonna feed myself and my AD carry. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned it, they just need to group as 5. Just do not fight before that moment, and nothing is gonna happen. And KT is gonna have free win, because we already saw their team composition is popping off at 15 minutes when I said their late game synergize better than SANDBOX. But yeah, I mean, it's already popping off, you know? Aiming seems like he's already fed because of the team composition. And Kuro is the one of the mid laner known as good control mage player.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he played it perfectly. Like, the early game for him was just pristine. He just sat there, clearing out the waves, never dying. He only got into trouble once, just ults himself.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to flash, I don't think. It was totally fine.
Just not getting ganked by Rek'Sai and Azir at all. That's just all great. You know? That was the Zillion's job, and he did his job. You know? Maybe he got ganked by Summit one time, but he kind of soaked the pressure that they had on the top side. So everything is great, and he's soaking, you know.
Yeah. He's soaking damage. I don't know if he had to walk into that brush, but he's still not gonna die, which is again the most important thing.
Yep. It's fine. Can't kill in the Zillion.
Oh yeah. And okay. You were talking about this. I mean, they're already popping off. What is the Rek'Sai gonna do now in this game after dying early? Like
exactly.
What is his job? He can't assassinate anyone.
I mean, his job is when I mean, he just needs to flash in and W the target. Misfortune, because that's all he can do right now. And ulti to get some ping pong in the team fight. But yeah, I don't feel like he can actually even one shot for the Zillion ulti. And then Yumi has exhaust as well. So I mean, he just needs to go engage and just try to one-shot enemy damage dealer with Aatrox. So that's just only his job. But at this point, on Fleck after first death, as you mentioned it, he's kind of useless. But it looks like he still wants to get some control. But 2 levels behind on enemy jungle.
For now, his only job is really just to clear out vision with Dove, who is level 13 and has some damage in his kit for now, as the full-on engage is going to come in as OnFleek was in the Dragon Pit. So on is going to get that down, and I suppose, the flashes, though, were used on the side of the bottom lane of SANDBOX. So they do trade ults for summoners here. Trying to zone away Summit at this point. Here we go, just going to slowly start up the dragon. This is part of what I really loved from KT against T1, is that they were their positioning in team fights, especially in the river, It's so spread out, but clumped together at the same time. They're always in position to do the right thing when they need to turn. As now it's a little bit weird as Summit is coming in for the flank. They're trying to burst him down with that exhaust as the Smite is also going to come down and go the way of Bono, who will pick up the dragon and the big scary monster from the top lane in the Aatrox. They're also going to slow down Gorilla here with that Make It Rain, and the pillars are coming in. It's perfect to trap two of them as the kills start raining down on the parade of SANDBOX. KT is dominating them here in this game.
For sure, man. I mean, who said Aatrox has good teamfight, man? Look at the Zillion, Yuumi, Misfortune. This is such a better team fighter.
And difference.
Comp difference as well. And KT plays so well. Look at the instant exhaust on the Aatrox as well.
Instant turn.
Yeah. And they're looking for the same target as well. And Bono, he didn't even, I mean, he didn't even turn to Drake, by the way. He was like looking at the Aatrox, and while smiting the Drake, he's like looking at the left but right at the same time. So everything seems just great and clean for KT. That's the important part, you know. As I mentioned it before the playoffs, just having a Aatrox? You got the Drake as well? Go mid? No. We can chase. Look at the Karma. I have ulti. Karma no flash. We got the Karma. Oh, that was good. Varus? I have ulti. Oh, that was good. No. Go mid. Rotation. Oh, we are really fast, man. That he said in the last sentence.
It's like they're realizing their strength as they're playing it.
Oh yeah. They just realized that they're really fast, you know.
Yeah, and they are. They're really fast. I was surprised at how their comms don't seem very... how can I put this? It's not like they're on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like multiple different people have multiple different ideas as well. We talked about the purpose of the Rek'Sai. This is one thing you can do. He's able to set up the kill here.
Exactly.
And a trade kill onto the Misfortune is always going to be good. And they also pick up the Yuumi on the backside, so finally On Fleek finds a use for himself in this game and opens up the mid lane.
For sure, just flash in, just trade your life with the Misfortune and your work.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just try to defend the Zillion. Oh man, Zillion is so annoying. If I was like SANDBOX side, then I would definitely ult chat. And Zillion,
what would you say?
I'm just gonna, I will ban next game.
Yeah.
Freaking Zillion. And look at here. Flash W. Woo. That's all he needs to do in this game.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if he dies. He did his job.
Yeah. Just trade your life, you know, and just type work. No.
Yeah. That's another thing you can type in all chat. Worth.
For sure.
If you are on Fleek. Although I don't know if you want to be typing in all chat after the way the game has gone for you.
Oh man. Like, Koreans are just way too shy and they're afraid to get blamed by communities, but like, look at Europe. Like, they just all chat, you know, and meme each other's. I mean, I really liked the meme that they had after the playoffs game, G2 versus the Mad Lions. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I was like laughing so hard actually. I was laughing whole day after I watched the Wonder memeing video.
Yeah.
That was so fun. That was so great.
It's really fun, you know?
Yeah, I mean, those kind of contents and storyline that we need in LCK, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they need to be more open-minded and yeah, and Summit is opening his ball lane, I guess.
He's opening something, that's for sure. Oh, we do have aiming in an awkward spot here. We are going to have the Rek'Sai on top of her again. And there you go. The combination as aiming in an awkward spot there, trying to rotate to the fight, and it does not work out. They're looking for the slow there onto Summit with the Glacial Augment for Zilean. Doesn't quite pan out, and that means that the Cloud Drake will not go the way of KT just yet, as they are considering fighting again.
Okay. I mean, all they need to do is just pill for aiming, and I mean, those moments were like aiming's mispositioning was the point. So we cannot actually blame the supports around the aiming right now. I mean, he died twice, and yeah, I mean, that was not that huge this timing around because he didn't lose. I mean, he didn't lose his summoner spells or like huge objectives like a Nashor or Elder Drakes or Drake Soul. So it's still fine, but still, those kind of mispositioning by Misfortune is gonna have some kind of unrealistic late game for the KT, because it's all about Misfortune when it comes to the late game. Their team composition is just all about Misfortune, so aiming, he just needs to focus more in the game because he died twice already.
Yeah, I think maybe he feels invincible, like unkillable, you know? Maybe he's like, I'm so fast, I can just run wherever I want, and he's just used to basically doing whatever he wants in this game because he's so fed and there's so many support champions for him, but you can't just sprint through the enemy jungle when you don't have vision. So
Exactly.
a little bit of a bonehead play for sure, but it's a kind of it's the kind of play that it shocks you and you're like, oh, okay, I can't do that again. Let's really focus.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty obvious too. So I'm sure his teammates are also like, hey, come on, you know, we need you to play well.
Yeah.
You are the main carry of the team right now.
I mean, it's still fine because it didn't matter that much, and slowly they still have the tools that they can have some fight or an ulti, even though they do not have Yumi ulti anymore. And somebody slowly tickling the Ornn, but
he's the tank. He
Yeah,
is
not-
also a bruiser and a mage and a wizard. He does lots of damage, and he also doesn't die. And, yeah, Summit is not really going to be doing too much damage to him at this point, as it looks like he is going for Warmogs next, just to be a really beefy boy, and has already upgraded the Molten Edge there for the Misfortune. So that the timing is coming already.
Exactly.
Where aiming would like, I suppose, one more item, but he's still so strong. Like, as you said, even though he died and all he fed in the enemy jungle, he's still fine in this game.
And look at how they control the map compared to
They really don't like Karma.
yeah, I mean, this is way how you play the game when you have advantage, you know?
Yeah.
We saw it from Hanwha. Like, they had so much advantage, but they didn't pull the trigger or didn't do anything. But KT, they're just running in. I mean, their team composition is kind of helped them because it's kind of easy to play. But then why don't you pick it, you know? KT picked the right champion and playing the right rotation. So it makes me really happy.
On Fleek, you can't do this against this
Yeah.
comp. They're too
Yeah, I
fast. You can't go behind them. They're gonna dog you down through the jungle if you give them any space to run after you. And now the jungle's dead, so you know, take the inhibitor and why don't we also take the Baron and why don't we also just take the game? That's what KT's saying at this point.
I mean, look at him, he's engaging! Oh my god, real
Yeah.
spell flash! Everything!
Triple kill, and well, it also helps that it's
Running.
Cloud Rift. He's so fast running through the jungle. Oh man, you can't get away from this guy.
Oh my gosh, man.
MF has the rocket boots on today. She got that special upgraded secret item that Riot put in the game that we didn't even
Yeah.
know existed.
Yeah, normally when I see those kind of insane movement speed, I call it Lamborghini. I'm not sure what you like, but yeah, that Lamborghini misfortune worked out.
It worked.
Pretty well.
It certainly worked. And, well,
So fast and so strong.
yeah, they're going to pick up another kill, end the game 14-4 as the speedy MF comp ended up working out there. We looked at the draft and we said, that looks pretty good for KT, especially if they can have a clean early game. Well, they got ahead in the early game, and it was super clean from there on out. You highlighted it during the game that KT is such a clean team, and that's really what we've all been saying about this team for a while now, especially once they started that winning streak, is they really just cleaned up their act. They were a little bit too messy. You know, they've got new players in the roster. They're trying to mesh well together. And then Coach Hirai cracked the whip, and then all of a sudden, you know, they start winning every single game. Their League of Legends is super clean, and they're able to take out top teams over and over again. And just a great composition there, once again, to easily defeat SANDBOX in Game 1.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I mean, that competition is just so fun to watch, and the game duration time was also so fast as well. Even though they had the late game, they knew that they can pull the trigger here, and they just pull the trigger instantly. That's a good part of the KT. They are considering as the top 5 teams. Probably they want to compete the top 3 team in LCK, and this performance, definitely we can consider them as top team, and this is what we need right before the playoffs. And I vote Kuro for POG.
Yeah, Kuro is definitely a good pick. I had him originally, and then I changed my vote to Bono, just because he helped out in the early game, and also his pillar down the bottom lane was really nice.
For sure. His first counter ganking on the bot side, that was really huge as well, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even the smite here is clean. I think Kuro, super uber clean, almost. Like, he was Mr. Clean on Zilean. It doesn't really get cleaner than the Zilean. Outside of that one time he was in the brush, but I mean, that's excusable.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he's Zilean, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. He's like getting all the pressure, and he's soaking himself. So it's still great. And yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy that Kuro is playing so good consistently. Good players and bad players, their difference is the performance consistency, right? And Kuro has been performing so well every single game. When they got the Miracle Run, it's also aiming but Kuro as well. So I'm really happy to see that. And also, Zilean made out this comp kind of complete, you know? Yeah. This Lamborghini, I don't know, Ferrari, Porsche,
Ferrari, I guess,
Mercedes, I don't know, everything. Like, it's just so fast.
All fast
combined.
Cars.
Yeah, all the fast cars.
It was
everything combined.
The rocket ship combo. That was just hilarious.
I mean, he's just engaging, you know.
Yeah, he just runs straight at them. And it wasn't just Zilean, it's Yuumi. It's the two of them together. It's like hilariously OP. Once you combine them and once you get ahead, it's like, okay, well, in general, you can just keep your distance and try to take fights on your terms. But if the enemy team has 3 times the speed that you do, you will never get a say in how and when you're going to fight. You can see that Dove is not even getting close to them. He's like, we just have to fight.
Go, go. Keep running. Let's eat him. He literally said that, by the way. Let's eat him here.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to look for Penta. Give me Penta.
펜타 이미 끝난 거 아니야?
아니야, 줄 때까지.
Where's my Penta? He's alive, so we can Penta. Make it happen.
맞습니다.
야,
버프
오늘
셔틀.
몸대. 오케이, 오케이.
Or go dive. Die for it.
아니, 타워 넥서스. 아야, 오늘
Take
몸대,
tower.
몸대. 개피 만들고 개피.
Take the tower.
깨봐 일단.
He's pinging on my way as well.
5초 남았어, 5초.
5 seconds left. Just go die. I want to get Penta.
아, 타워게.
아.
깨.
Just break the nexus.
어쩔 수가 없어.
nah, we can't do it, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, Aiming was looking for another penta here, but unfortunately, he couldn't get it.
Yeah. I love the interpretation of aiming. Give me penta, tank tower. Come on, Ornn. Poor 80 carry player that
Yeah,
that had
I
the
mean-
whole composition drafted around him. He really needed his penta. He didn't
Yeah,
get it.
I actually feel bad for Sohwan, you know? Like, his AD carry is like, just take the tower, die for it, you know? And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going in.
Yeah.
He couldn't get it.
It's really funny. But
Yeah.
speaking of players that did their job, you know, obviously this, you look at the damage graph and everybody's like, oh my god, aiming's so good. No, it was a team effort, and everybody really
For
did
sure.
their job. Like, Ornn,
For sure.
Ornn did great to not get solo killed. Same for Zillion. Bono did amazing in the bottom, or in the jungle, and so did the support. Everybody together win that game. We'll have to see if they can bring it back here for game 2 after the break.
Oh.